Hello and welcome to this brand new episode and a very different episode of Newsmakers, the show where we bring to you successful stories of inspirational people from different walks of life. Because at Newsmakers, we aspire to inspire you. My dear friends, I'm your host Simran, and I'm really excited and really delighted today because we have two very big news. One is that we as in India, with the progressive India, is going to be launching Chandrayaan-3 today. It's such a beautiful day. And yet another new news in Newsmakers that we have is our dynamic guest on the sets of Newsmaker. He is, my dear friends, please make a note. He is a person who's making waves in the education industry from past 14 years. He is the Chancellor and founder of Universal AI University, one of its kind university in India, the very first university in India which is going to teach artificial intelligence. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Tarundeep Singh Anand on the sets of Newsmakers. A very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure to have a person like you with us here on this set, and that too on such a special day.
Thank you. It's truly a privilege.
Sir, I have read about you and known about you, and I know that you are a person who was like a door-to-door salesperson once upon a time in life. But now you're owning $1 billion company. You are a globally renowned name. Please tell us about your journey so far.
Thank you. So it started with my career as a door-to-door salesperson. Very tough. You know, getting doors slammed on your face, it's never too easy. You've got to find a way through the door. And sometimes no doors open, so you find another door. There's always another door in life. So I followed that principle. Then subsequently, I did my MBA from SP Jain Institute of Management Research. Became a banker with Standard Chartered Bank and HSBC. Moved on to doing a career in treasury business for Thomson Reuters, where I was heading for South Asia. Then a turn of events happened, and I was not looking at going out of India at all. But I got an opportunity to move to England when I was heading the UK treasury business for the Thomson Reuters group. So that was great. Many years in London, understood the world of Europe and London business. Then I got promoted to global CEO for the treasury business. At that point, I was just 32 years and running a $2 billion business spread over 136 countries. Got to see the world, got to understand the business. You know, it was fascinating experience. Then I moved to Hong Kong, where I was CEO for Asia Pacific to set up a new joint venture. Came back to India as chairman and managing director of Thomson Reuters South Asia. So that was my corporate journey. And over the last 14 years, I've now got into education where I want to give back to society. And so started with a business school. Now we have Universal AI University, India's first artificial intelligence university. So exciting to be here.
Yes, indeed. What a journey that you like to know the person who's coming in from selling door to door. And I'm sure that you had your piece of rejections as well. But then you are here at such a juncture and you are making a mark with AI. It's huge, sir. And what made you to think about like having an AI as a whole university?
So, it goes back to my days in Wall Street. I used to be based in New York. My biggest hedge funds were my customers. They were doing what is called algorithmic trading. So these guys would come in, press a button, and literally walk away for a coffee. And within that couple of hours, they would have done $2 billion of trades. And I was fascinating that what's happening here. So essentially, it was using data, creating patterns in the data, and predicting the markets, and therefore putting those trades into the markets, whether in the bond markets, the stock markets, or the foreign exchange markets, or the commodities markets. So that was what I was exposed to in 2005, 2006. So, it's eye-opening how the world of algorithmic trading, which today now, by the way, is what essentially AI does. Data is the gold in the AI world. And so we felt that this is going to have a transformative impact on every industry. So I believe the age of AI is upon us, and no industry is going to be left to be touched. Why? Because it makes us super productive, super effective, super fast. That's exactly what you want from a productive nation, right? So AI is going to make a transformative change in the industry. And I said, shouldn't India have its own AI university, which essentially puts out there all the knowledge, all the tools, all the applications of what AI can possibly do, which is going to make a huge impact on India's GDP. I believe it could raise the GDP of our country by 1.5 to 2%.
Wow.
So if you want to play in the world of education, then AI is going to be the place. But I have to be very clear here. We applied for this university in 2018. It took us 5 years to get there. So today, AI is on fire. We were thinking about it 5 years ago. We should have got it in 2019, but it happens when it happens.
Correct.
So we are excited that when we came out with our state legislative agency, gave us the go-ahead, AI is on fire, and we are there.
Well, I'm like, you must have felt like so good because you had incepted, you thought of this thing at in the year 2018, right?
Yeah.
And now this is it's absolutely a Wi-Fi thing right now. But why India? Like, how did you manage to have this location in India? Like the universities in Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. So please tell us, like, you must have gone through a lot of nitty-gritties to see where can you have the location and everything.
So my heart is in India. So I chose to leave my plush corporate executive positions in London, New York, and Hong Kong. I wanted to come back to India and do something and give back to India.
Wow.
So that was India. And then I said, the business capital of India is Mumbai. So why not create a university of which is, I would say, best of both worlds, where you are, close to the most vibrant city, one of the most vibrant cities in India, with business, large tycoons sitting next to you. And at the same time, you're a little away, because I used to commute during my education, and I felt that commute was not value additive. So I said, why not be a little away in a residential campus surrounded by nature, so you learn in the lap of nature. So
Correct.
we have mountains wherever you look from our campus.
Wow.
So you get that, and you're 20 minutes away from the Navi Mumbai.
Okay, wow. So now this is so alluring to hear that you are in the hub of a nature. That's beautiful, because learning comes not only through books, through experiential learning is yes, but then if it comes through nature, it's a beautiful experience, I'm sure. So do you have any kind of a selective, like you select students on some criteria? Is there some kind of a criteria on that as well?
Absolutely. So we totally believe in all-rounders. I think, someone who's played sports at a national level is equal to someone who's cracked the JEE at 99%, right? Because both are playing at an India's level or at a state level. It's tough. So I believe equal valuation should be given to every aspect of a individual student. So we kind of have a broad-based analysis. Just to put it roughly, there is 5 areas. We look at their academics, we look at their entrance exam, we look at their extracurricular activities, we look at their leadership potential, and we look at the communication, because communication is the only way you can survive in today's world. So we put these 5 together. Students go through a couple of rounds of interview, and that's how we select someone who's got a wholesome ability to make a difference.
Wow, that sounds really nice. And my dear friends, my little ones, if you're watching this show, I'm sure that you know that what you have to absolutely work upon, hone your skills on communication, because that's the way, and that's the prime thing that sir has been insisting upon, that you have to work upon how you communicate, because that's the way you can reach to someone's heart as well. I mean, it's really amazing, sir. But I also know that you are an avid sports person. So have you been, working upon having that part also, like you have a university? It's just AI, or there's a lot that we can learn here?
So absolutely, I used to represent India in rugby, South Asian rugby tournaments. So it's a crazy sport. But I always say this, that, in any sport, whether it's football, cricket, rugby, any sport, the outcome is not known. But you've got to put in a lot of effort. You've got to put in your heart, soul, to understand the principles of that sport, to understand what makes it work in that sport. And that is very, very key part of our university. In fact, we're going to have a sports sciences college very soon. And sports is, integrated into the curriculum. A few years back, I did something which was a little taken out of context, because I said, if you're not on the field, you can't sit for the exam. which was some parents thought it's not. But after COVID, everybody's realized how important it is to play, not only as a stress buster, but as a health tool.
Yes.
And it takes your mind away from, the typical work. So we encourage sports. In fact, we just had our inaugural sports football tournament, which was national games in our campus. And we had teams from multiple states coming in. So we are big on sports. And I think it should be part of every curriculum.
That's really, really good to hear that, because, health is where we see it is very important to be fit. And, you have that as a major thing in your university. It is something very, very good to hear. My dear friends, please take a note of everything that sir has been telling, because it's just not an interview. It's a whole lot of information that we have from a person who is so, so warm. And I also know there is one thing that I was talking to you right back, few minutes back, and then you got to tell me that you are a thorough, from your heart, you're an Indian. And today is a very, very big day. You are here. We are having this interview on a day when we're also launching Chandrayaan-3. It's a beautiful day. And to have a person who is totally Indian from inside, please tell me, how do you feel?
It's a big day. I feel India has made leaps and bounds, and we are second to none in the world with what we bring to the table. Chandrayaan-3 is just going to demonstrate the intellectual capabilities of this wonderful nation. So it's just such a proud feeling that we could get there and do such a great impact. And thank you for having me on this special day.
It's our pleasure to have a person like you here today. And so, this AI thing, now this is, of course, it's the future. We know it's going to be all over, and ChatGPT is the way of life. But then somehow I've also been hearing that it may be, I don't know if it's a myth, because you're teaching it, you have a whole university to it. So is it going to take away jobs? Is it going to be a threat for people?
So, like every revolution, whether it was the steam engine, people thought the same way. When electricity came, people thought the same way. Then the third was when the internet came, people thought it's going to change the world. People are going to lose jobs because there'll be everything online. That didn't happen. Then the mobile revolution has come. Nothing has changed. I believe AI is going to make us, individual with AI capabilities are going to be moving in the direction of being closer to superheroes like we see in our Marvel comics and movies. So I think that's very important. Remember the days when, you had to do a 9x9 if you're to do a calculator, calculate multiplication. You would be sitting on a piece of paper and putting it down. How long would it take? Now you have a calculator.
Yes.
Will you ever do that? No, you can't go back. So to my mind, AI, before AI even thinks of taking the jobs, someone with AI is going to take your job for sure. So if you're not equipped with the tools, it's like saying, today you don't see an ambassador on the roads, or you won't see a 118 NE. Why? Because there are better cars which have come and taken over.
Indeed.
Similarly, this is the new, age. You've got to make yourself, how do you construct your data? How do you understand and analyze that data? Take out the juice, which is the predictive value of that data, and put it in your place, right? Put it in your action. So whether you're a, psychiatrist, to whether you're a medical practitioner, to tomorrow you're a lawyer, as diverse a field you are, this is going to make you super effective. So I think, it's been blown out of proportion. Yes, there are some issues with AI, which we can talk about, like, AI should be, and I firmly believe that when you're dealing with AI, you should know, you're consuming AI. So when someone is talking to you over a phone, and if it's an artificial intelligent, robot or whatever, you should know that, so that you don't make a decision based off it. So to my mind, that's the one thing we need to insist on our regulators, that AI should be able to tell you you're interacting with AI. Then right? When ChatGPT gets you an answer, it's an AI bot which is giving you an answer. There have been some gaps in ChatGPT, then you put your intelligence in it, and the two of them will make it a multiplier and exponential impact.
That's why you're here with the university, for the students to know that how to use it well. So my dear friends, you know that we also have a lot of myths inside that, it may take my job, it may come as a threat. But when you have a university, somebody's coming all at one place to teach you to use this tool in the best way. There are every time we have good and the bad things to you. But then, you have to learn the skill in the most proficient way. And sir has all the reasons and all the answers for us. And I'm so glad, sir. Now that you have a criteria for choosing students, like, they should be good enough in all the aspects. How about the faculty? Like, you must be very peculiar with that.
Yes. So I'm a little biased toward industry because I feel finally the output is to make a difference in industry. So we've got some leaders in industry. We've partnered with a multi-billion-dollar corporation to come and back us with our curriculum in terms of AI, because AI is moving at such a fast pace. And no matter, I come from the corporate world, my background is that I had the privilege of recruiting students from not only the IIMs, but of course my alma mater, SPJMR, but also international top universities like Columbia, Cornell. And so I knew what is required in industry because I was on the other side, right? So when you know what is required, you can produce what's required,
Absolutely.
right? So we felt that to produce what is required, faculty play a huge role. And therefore, it's like this. I'm going to make an analogy that, you're playing cricket.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be learning from the Virat Kohlis and the Sachin Tendulkar.
Absolutely.
Not someone who's never played cricket,
Correct.
right? May have been a good study of cricket, maybe know all the theory about cricket, but someone who faces that Waqar Yunus ball knows that, right? You want him in the classroom. So we want to create that world where you have faculty from industry, superior 30 years in industry, strong, and a passion to give back, a passion to share, and they do the magic in the classroom, right? We've seen that is great. And with that faculty, you merge it with some amazing, PhDs in computer science, which we have. They are the rock hard, they're the guys who know the technology, understand what it can do with the application. When you get that mix right, you're going to create magic in the classroom. So that is very, very important. Along with the faculty, we feel that the method of teaching, which I call the andragogy, because it's teaching people after 12th standard, you need to make sure that the student is no longer going to be passive. That world is gone. That bus has left the stop, right? The student wants to be engaged. He wants to be mesmerized. How can that faculty create that magic in the classroom? And that is the whole aspect of experiential learning, where we say, you know what, did you learn how to ride a cycle by reading a book? No. They got on the cycle, they rode it. Now, after 10 years, if you take the cycle away, the child will still ride because it's gone into his DNA. Why? Because he's done it. He's not read it.
Good.
So we try and capture that in our academic model, where up to 50% of the classroom learning can go to become completely experiential learning.
Wow.
And there are some amazing innovations my faculty has done to create that. Then we have, of course, classroom learning, some conceptual knowledge, but we also have what we call community learning. So in every module, we bring in an industry expert who then speaks. So every module has to have a community learn. And then we said, there's a lot which is outside the campus, which means someone is really fascinated by an element of AI. Then we have with online platforms where they can do what is called self-learning, which builds the foundation for lifelong learning, which is what everybody needs to do. In this world of AI, you've got to keep learning every day, voraciously, and that will build your appetite, and that will make sure that you have a fantastic career.
Wow, I'm already so fascinated. I really want to go visit the university, see how it's growing, and probably the one thing that I'm really happy to know is that the kind of faculty that you have. It's important because all the parents who may be wanting to send their kids to a university like this and to start their career in AI, which is just going to rock the world, and it's already rocking it. And it's very important for the parent to know where, literally, who are they sending their kids to, which hands they're going to. And you're doing such dynamic work, sir. You have been, you've brought something to the world, to India, which is very unique. Now everybody would want to know. So, is it also that, you say that the students' criteria, like you said. So, AI is something which probably an age like me, somebody who's also would want to learn. So, do you also cater to those people okay, not only the age criteria of students from like they're passing from 12th. Are we also, anybody can be in the university?
Absolutely. So besides having the formal programs like the BTech, the Bachelor of Science in AI, ML, Data Science, all of those, which you would typically, we are having lots of programs where we get students from, not, I would say they're students, they're learners from industry who come and various versions of it depending on their interest in going. But those are application-oriented things. So I think, AI is just about maybe the tools and the science, but the beauty of AI is the application of it. Like, how can I, make this experience more fascinating through AI? And then you start thinking. And we have what we call a CMAPS project, which is a collaborative multidisciplinary approach towards problem solving, because we believe that AI has to be a force for good. You want to change, not just to learn it to get a job, of course, that is without fail. But how can you change the way we are? How can you demonstrate? It becomes a level playing field for a country like India to be able to leapfrog. And it's an exciting time for me because I think students who can approach this with all their passion, they're going to come up with ideas which will shock the world. Everybody says India is not good at creating products. Today, you'll be amazed at the number of startups coming up. And to fuel that startup culture, we have a, AI lab, a quantum computing lab for our students where they can, play around with it. We have an AR, VR, MR labs. We've created IoT labs. So we said, let's give them the tools. Let's give them the playground. Let's give them the faculty and let's rock.
Wow, so this is going to be a different kind of playground, like not the usual one. You have all the other dynamic things to play with. My dear friends, please go watch out for the university. This is the only university in India to be teaching artificial intelligence. And you get to know much more from our sir that, Mr. Tarun, I would be wanting to know this, that you as a person, you've been through this of learning this also. Like for you also, it has been a great learning. How was your journey of learning through this? Like, you were a salesperson, then you get, you had this experience of working with a lot of professional organizations. Then you reached on to this level. So how was your journey? Was it challenging? Did you also see failure?
Oh, tons of failure. I have faced a lot of failure and probably that's the only reason I'm here. So, whether in sport or in life, you're going to keep trying things, right? You got to keep trying. I know we try and parents try and be safe. I think that's wrong. I think the more, we are in this massive, fast-paced world, which is moving at the speed of light. In this fast-moving world, the only thing that can keep you ahead of the game is the number of risks you take, because the more you fail, the more you learn. So I say, I risk, I fail, I learn. So forget the failure. It's I risk, I learn. I risk, I learn.
Wow.
The more you learn, the faster you can keep that pace. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. So I've had some spectacular failures, and each of them have been a huge base for me for learning. And that's what has propelled me, because I look at it. So if you take a risk and it works out great, it's a plus. If you take a risk and it fails, you learn, it's a plus. So taking risk, and at your age and stage of life, you must go out there and take risk, because then you will build the Googles of the world. Only if you take that, if you take the safe option, it'll take you longer to get there. I'm trying to tell you what I wish I had done. But I would be really, really happy to encourage you and, to come and see what kind of risks you can take. I'll tell you what we did. We said, let's create a company on campus. So we created a private limited company on campus where students become employees the moment they join the university. So, and then in their 3-4 year program, they can become a vice president in a year or a couple of years. And in the final years, they can become a CXO and CEO of a private limited company. I'm not saying it does 100 crores of business, but it does lakhs of business, makes profit, pays income tax. They hire, they fire, they create new products, take them to the market. Many are duds, which is the way the real world works. Even people with large amounts of funding can't do it. So I say, let's create that ecosystem where they learn by doing, and what they learn in the classroom, they can actually implement in this company.
Super.
So when they graduate, imagine a graduate comes home and says, Dad, I'm a vice president. He'd say, Arey, तूने तो अभी graduation किया, how can you be a vice president?
Yes.
Dad, I'm a CXO, I'm a CFO. Huh? So change the narrative, right? And they've done it, and their confidence is supreme. And therefore, I'm so pleased and delighted that my students, after this experience of working in the company, are working in 30 countries around the world.
Super.
Some have become CEOs, some have become directors in a very short span.
Wow.
So that's the game changer that you've got to learn by doing.
Wow. What an amazing piece of information that we have, the way they are teaching. I am really impressed, and I'm really wanting to tell you that I look forward to be visiting the university soon. And I'm going to tell everyone that make sure to visit, because here you're not only making them AI friendly or, getting them to know this knowledge, you're also preparing their future. They become entrepreneurs. They become senior officials right in the university. What an amazing way of teaching, sir. We are so honored that you are here with us and doing this amazing interview today. And with you, I would want to know, like, the kind of smile that you carry, such a pleasing personality you are. You've also had your inspiration. Somebody must have been in your life who's inspired you. Who was that one person?
I read a lot of books. I'm a voracious reader of all the autobiographies, whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's Jack Ma, whether it's, all the founders who've created wonderful organizations. And I think those books, in some way, when you read it, it goes inside your subconscious mind. And when you have to make those tough decisions or those critical decisions in your life, I always say there's some CEO who's standing behind me, speaking, right? So it all comes together in that. Of course, my spiritual guide has been my mother. She's spectacular, and I've learned a lot. And my father was a corporate, leader as well. And together we had set this up in the initial phases. So my parents and these fabulous guys like Steve Jobs to Elon Musk to Jack Ma, I feel I've got a little bit of each of them.
Wow. So this is coming from somebody who is absolutely telling that, it comes from the family, from parents. And yes, please do not forget, our books are the best friends. I've been hearing from all the people who have really made to the industry this, like I've been hearing, I've had a chance of interviewing who's one who of the industry. And the one thing that I've got to know is books are your best friends. And you have to learn any skill. I think books, you should start with reading. So while you're, making this university, while you came out with this concept, so there must be this quality thing that you've had in your mind, that the kind of quality of a university that you would like to give to your students. So what kind of those quality assurances that you've kept in your mind?
Absolutely. Coming from the corporate world, we know that anything you make, to make it sustainable, you can't take any shortcuts. And so quality has been a very clear-cut strategy from the outside. So just to give you an instance, if you go to any college in India, one person will check your papers, maybe someone will go for moderation, and that's the end. In our world, papers are checked by one faculty who teaches you, another peer faculty. If there is a difference of opinion, the dean steps in. Then the paper goes to an international body, university. They check the paper. Then they have an external examiner, which in our case was Cambridge University. Then he checks the paper. So 4 professors check every single paper. Okay. Right? That level of quality in just one aspect of it. And then they sit together on the exam board and give their result. So we've kept this. Then with our international partners, every 3 to 6 months they come to India. Then they throw us out of the room because we know the stuff, and they'll sit with the students and ask them what's working, what's not. And if the student says, this faculty is not up to the mark, then we have to make a change. That keeps us, so when you get an external global partner who tells you, then they keep this momentum going. And then to add to that is our governance standards. We have very high governance standards. So we've been endorsed by 60 global CEOs, right? Wow. These are from the top companies like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Barclays, GE, Novartis. I can keep going on. These company guys are behind us, making sure that we are doing the right thing. So that's always great as the kind of support we have. And then internally, we are big on ESG. We became the first business school in the university set up a ESG report. And one of the highlights, which I'm very proud, is that 50% of my leadership team are all women. They're absolute rock stars.
Super.
They keep me honest, and I'm grateful to them.
Well, this is one thing which is so good to hear, that the kind of people that you work with is all women, and you must be giving them so much of empowerment to be with you and working and learning so much. Now that I would have this very important question, sir, which is your one advice to those students who are rightly watching you, and to the people, and also to the parents who are going to be, wanting to just, brainstorming that now we would like to send their kids to this university. Now, your advice to them.
I would say, one of my, not from a education perspective, but from a life perspective. Life is going to throw a lot of challenges at you. I would only say a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. So don't give up. Just keep at it, right? Keep at it and doors will open. Take that next step. Take that next step. Take that next step, and you will be amazed at the world, how it opens up. We tend to bottle it in. We take a lot of negativity in. Stay away from negativity. You've got to be positive, like from every inch of your body. If there is a negative thought coming into your, wave into your brain, just stop.
Well,
We say stay away from the BMWs. Bitching, moaning, and wailing is not good for you. It's going to be the people who are never going to go up. They're going to be the crabs who will hold you down. Stay with the eagles, man, and you will be seeing a phenomenal career.
wow. I am so enlightened today. Such a great interview that we had with a person like you. You yourself carry such a positive aura, and that you are also telling everyone, please, my dear little ones, if you're watching, make sure that being positive is the way. Being positive, you are in the progressive India. You are the future generation. You are going to be connected to a person who's teaching the way of life, not just AI. You need to know that living life the way you just told, BMW is how you have to follow. We shall be writing the whole, the way you have conceptualized it, that the BMW, and we would want you to follow that in your life. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us and telling us a lot about AI industry. Thank you so very much. And my dear viewers, I'm sure that you have liked this interview. And if you have, then what are you waiting for? Our numbers and our email is reflecting here. You have any query, please shoot your mail. Tell us that if you have any query, if you would like to connect with sir, all the information has also been given. Here Simran is signing off. I'm so happy that I could have a person on the special day where we are going to make history in India. Thank you so much once again. Join me in another interview with another newsmaker super soon. Till then, have a very positive life. See ya.